Good evening and welcome. I'm Rob Haratsky, Vice Provost for the Student Experience. And tonight we gather for Convocation, an important RPI tradition that brings together our academic and student experience communities to formally welcome you and mark the beginning of your journey as members of the RPI community. But most importantly, tonight is about you. It's a chance for all of us gathered here, faculty, staff, fellow students, to celebrate what you've accomplished, the decision you've made to take this next step in your lives. So with a great deal of excitement and anticipation, let me officially say, welcome to RPI. Welcome to the class of 2030 and to our students studying architecture, the class of 2031. Congratulations, you made a wise choice in joining us at RPI, and we believe we made a wise choice in selecting you. You've come to RPI from across the United States and around the world. The flags you saw in the lobby as you entered today reflect the many nations that make up your class. You bring with you different backgrounds, experiences, perspectives, talents, and aspirations. But beginning today, you also share something really important. You are all part of the RPI community. And as you begin your time here, there are three things I want every one of you to know. You are welcome here, you belong here, and we are here to support you. You will hear those messages from us throughout your time at RPI, and I hope you will come to believe them as strongly as we do. Before I introduce the president of RPI, I want to introduce someone who will play an especially important role in your experience here. Ryan Ketak, known to our students simply as Dean Ryan, serves as your Dean of Students. Dean Ryan and his team are here to help you navigate RPI, connect you with resources, celebrate your successes, and support you when you encounter challenges along the way. Dean Ryan, would you please stand and be recognized? I would also like to recognize Logan Gee and Janelle Fayette of our first year experience program for their hard work and coordination of student orientation and navigating Rensselaer and beyond. In addition, I'd like to thank our learning assistants and resident assistants who spent countless hours preparing for your arrival and who are here to cheer you on and support you. And now, it's an honor and a privilege to introduce you to the head of the RPI family, our president, Dr. Martin A. Schmidt, a graduate of the class of 1981.
Thank you, Rob. Well, as a childhood friend growing up in Pennsylvania used to like to say, you guys clean up good. You look nice tonight. Over the last few days, I've had the chance to meet many of you around campus and tell you informally how glad we are that you're here. Now let's make it official. Class of 2030, and for our architecture students 2013, welcome to RPI. Seated with me today is the leadership team of this institute, the people who shape our academics, our research enterprise, our finances, our technology and facilities, our legal affairs, our communications, our advancement, and the broader strategic initiatives that keep this institute moving forward. Over the next 4 years, some of them you'll come to know personally. Others will shape your experience here in ways you'll never directly see. But every one of them and every team they lead is working towards the same goal, making sure that the 4 years ahead of you are everything they should be and will be. That shows up in the research funding that puts you in a lab as an undergraduate, the financial aid that supports your journey, the systems that keep your coursework running, and the advancement work that keeps this institute connected to our over 112,000 living alumni. This team works quietly, sometimes under the radar, but I can promise you they'll be thinking about you and supporting your success. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Now, we know that Rensselaer is the first and oldest technological university in the Western Hemisphere. That's a fact people mention often, and it's one we're proud of. But a date on a timeline only matters for what it produced. What it produced was a founding mission written in 1824 that was genuinely radical for its moment: the application of science to the common purposes of life. 2 centuries later, that idea still runs RPI. It shows up in professors here who involve you in their research. It shows up in how little separation there is between what you do outside the class and what you learn inside it. At the Mercer X Lab, students don't just complete assignments, they tinker, prototype, and pursue open-ended ideas alongside faculty members, with the space itself built to feed innovation straight back into the curriculum. The Finance Club doesn't just study markets, it manages real capital and competes against schools many times our size. And the RPI Student Union itself is unlike almost anything you will find elsewhere. Run by students, for students, with its own budget and governing authority. It also manages the more than 200 clubs you can choose from. Learning at RPI has always moved in both directions. Don't be nervous about speaking up, showing up, and getting involved. Your voice will be encouraged and taken seriously starting today. This past year, that mission traveled all the way to the moon. In April, RPI alumni Reed Weissman, class of 1997, commanded NASA's Artemis II mission, the first crewed flight to go beyond low Earth orbit and around the far side of the moon in more than 50 years. I was at Kennedy Space Center for the launch, and hearing Reed's voice communicating with mission control both before liftoff and in the tense minutes after is something I won't forget. Back on campus, students and faculty packed a lecture hall to watch the launch, and again 10 days later for splashdown, cheering on one of their own. But Reed wasn't the only RPI alumni intimately involved in the mission. RPI engineers were guiding it from Johnson Space Center. Members of the community from Troy to Houston to the European Space Agency helped bring that crew home. Our faculty were using the flight in real time to teach flight mechanics and spacecraft design. That's the whole point of an RPI education, not just admiring what's at the frontier, but building the systems that gets you there. You'll find that same spirit all over this campus, often earlier in your time here than you'd expect. Because of RPI's size and its emphasis on hands-on learning, undergraduate students end up working alongside faculty in research labs, not just observing, but contributing. That might mean doing that work using the IBM Quantum System 1, the first university in the world to have such a system, or at our field stations on Lake George, or at the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine in New York City, or the semiconductor research we're now advancing through a partnership with Global Foundries in Malta. It's no accident that RPI was named this year among the nation's top 50 universities for US utility patents. That's what happens when research here is built to become something real. I hope you'll approach the years ahead with that same sense of adventure and openness. You'll encounter people here from all over the globe. Just look at the flags outside when you leave the auditorium. These people's experiences, backgrounds, and ideas are different from yours, and you should embrace that. That's one of the greatest opportunities in front of you, to learn about the world and about yourself through the people sitting around you right now. Our community isn't immune to the divides that trouble the nation, and the world at this moment. But on this campus, we have a chance to show how those divides get bridged by being welcoming and by listening to each other with a genuine desire to understand. That, too, is an RPI tradition, and it's why this community keeps renewing itself. We are learning from our more than 200 years of innovation and building towards our third century. Reed Weissman sat where you're sitting almost 30 years ago. You are the next chapter of this institute's legacy, and every person on this stage and across this campus is here to support you, challenge you, and celebrate you as you get there. Thank you, and again, welcome to RPI. Now, to share more about the exciting academic journey ahead of you, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our amazing provost, Dr. Rebecca Dorsch.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you all again. Anybody sleep yet? A little bit of sleep? A little bit, okay, right. Thank you, Marty, and faculty, staff, and most importantly, our newest RPI students, welcome. You made it. You are definitely here, and we just couldn't be more excited that you are here and we're ready to go. Classes start tomorrow, have you heard that? Yeah, okay, just in case you missed that. You are joining a community of thinkers, builders, creators, and problem solvers. And as Marty said, you are also joining more than 112,000 living RPI alumni that came before you. They arrived with their own questions, ambitions, and uncertainties, just like you. They left prepared to make a difference in the world, and now it's your turn. Your time at RPI will challenge you, and it should. You will work harder than you thought possible, discover strengths you didn't know that you had, and probably change your mind more than once about where your future will lead you. That's part of the RPI experience. Be curious, ask questions, try something that makes you uncomfortable. Clubs are really good for that. Meet people who see the world differently than you do, talk to them. Listen to them, really listen to them, and learn from them. And please ask for help when you need it. You do not need to figure everything else out on your own. Our faculty, they are nothing short of extraordinary. They will teach you, they will challenge you, and they will help you turn ideas into actions. And yes, they are deeply invested in your success, but they also expect you to take ownership of your choices and your education. Show up, get involved, do the work. Your RPI experience will become what you make of it. You are also backed by an outstanding academic leadership team that sits behind me, and they are ready to support you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our academic and administrative deans, and I will ask each of them to stand as I call their names. I ask that you please hold your applause until the very end, and remember one thing, I have a very important question to ask you after this. So let's get started. Dean Evan Douglas, School of Architecture. Dean Shekhar Garde, School of Engineering. Dean Will Gibbons, School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. Dean Liad Wagman, Lally School of Management. Dean Stephen Tate, School of Science. Dr. Wendy Lynn Cook, Vice Provost of Enrollment. Dr. Matt Oschlager, Vice Provost and Dean of Undergraduate Education. And Dr. Dorit Novo, Vice Provost and Dean of Grad Education. Please welcome them. right, so I said I had a question. The students who went on the Darren Freshwater Navigate Beyond, can you give me a yes? Hello? Woo, hi. Okay, this one's for you, you guys. All right, I'm gonna ask a question, and there's two answers, yes and no, and we're gonna decide together based upon how loud you are. You ready? You're not ready. Are you ready? Okay, yeah, okay. You ready? Is a hot dog a sandwich? No! Okay, hold on. For the yeses, give me a yes. Yes. And for the no's, give me a no. No! All right, the no's have it. So thank you for making that decision. Appreciate it. And now you guys all have something to debate. So if you have nothing to talk about, you can just talk about whether a hot dog is a sandwich. All right, okay, I've lost control of the crowd. All right, not now, debate it later. I did this. All right, you guys, hello. Okay, choop, thanks. That's my fault, make note. So whether you believe that a hot dog is a sandwich or you're absolutely sure that that's wrong, please know that you belong here. You really belong here considering I lost track of the, lost control of the crowd. Please know that you've earned your place at RPI and that we believe in you and we believe what you're capable of becoming. Everybody take a deep breath and out. Today, RPI becomes part of your story and you become part of ours. Welcome to RPI, sincerely, Go Red!
As we begin a new academic year together, we also mark an important moment in your lives. Convocation is more than the opening of a semester. It marks the beginning of a journey filled with possibility, discovery, challenge, and growth. You're joining a community that will shape not only what you learn, but also who you become. It is also a moment for gratitude for the families, mentors, friends, teachers whose encouragement, support, and sacrifices help bring you this day. For many of you, coming to RPI has meant saying goodbye to parents, family members, and friends as you begin this next chapter. Those goodbyes obviously can be bittersweet. They remind us of the people and places that have shaped us, even as we find the courage and excitement to embrace what comes next. Eric Whitaker's October beautifully captures that sense of reflection and transition. Inspired by the quiet beauty of autumn, the piece invites us to pause for a moment amid the excitement of a new beginning, to appreciate the people and experiences that brought us here while looking forward to all that lies ahead. As you listen, I invite you to reflect on your own journey to RPI, the people who helped you get here, and the possibilities that await you. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Robert Whalen, who will lead the RPI Symphony Orchestra's Winds and the RPI Wind Symphony in Eric Whitaker's October. Thank you, that was just beautiful. It's now my pleasure to introduce our faculty speaker, Dr. Lee Ligon. Dr. Ligon is an associate professor of biological sciences and a neuroscientist and cell biologist. After many years leading a research lab focused on the relationship between cell mechanics and cell function, she transitioned into academic leadership, serving as Associate Dean of the School of Science until earlier this summer. Dr. Ligon earned her undergraduate degree from Wesleyan University and her graduate degrees from the University of Virginia. Please join me in welcoming our faculty speaker, Dr. Lee Ligon.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the class of 30/31. So tomorrow, as Rebecca said, you're going to be starting on this amazing adventure. And I want to give you a few words that I hope will help you get the most out of your experiences here at RPI. Now, you might notice that there's some repetition between some of the things that I say and other people have said and will say. But remember, this is important for your classes. Repetition means it's important. So if somebody says something that I already said, or I repeat something that somebody else said, it's because it's important. So once upon a time, back in the day, I was sitting right here where you are, at a different school, in a different, place, but pretty much the same situation. I was feeling pretty confident because, up to that time, I had done pretty well in school, but I was also a little scared because I, was worried that I might not be up to this new level. I was excited to start a new life, meet new people, but also a little anxious. What if nobody liked me? What if I didn't fit in? So how many of you can identify with these conflicting feelings? Raise your hands. Okay, right. Look around. Wait, keep your hands up. Look around. Now, remember that. Pretty much everybody's in the same boat, right? When you're feeling confident, and you will, reach out and even in just a little way and help somebody who isn't feeling as confident in that moment. And more importantly, when you're anxious or confused or scared, ask for help. We'll come back to that at the end. But the most important thing to remember is that you're not alone in this. Everybody has some fears, but you are all accepted to RPI for a reason, because we think that you have what it takes to succeed here. RPI will challenge you, but challenges are good. They're hard and they might scare you or make you uncomfortable, but there is really no better feeling than overcoming a challenge. Trust me, you'll feel really great with every success you have. Now, most of you have already declared a major. I know some of you are undecided, and I know from my years of experience that there are some of you who have some complicated plan to complete multiple majors. And it is good to have a plan, but I really want to encourage you to keep an open mind. Most of us tend to gravitate to things that we already know something about. We like things that we already know something about them. But sometimes when you try new things, you realize that you actually like that new thing even better than that thing you already knew something about. Yes, of course, you want to have a plan that will lead to a successful career. But most careers aren't linear. And when I've talked to alumni, many of whom are incredibly successful, most of them will say that they're not doing what they thought they were going to be doing when they graduated. College is this incredibly unique time to explore different areas and try new things. So take advantage of it. Take some classes in topics that you know nothing about. Join a new club, something that's completely new to you. Life can be a great adventure, but only if you have the courage and the curiosity to explore. You won't like everything, but you'll learn something from each experience. When I started college, I had a plan, like you do. I wanted to get my undergraduate degree in neuroscience, go to grad school, and become a scientific researcher. And yes, ultimately, that is what I did. But I took quite a few diversions along the way. I picked up a dual major in humanities. I worked at an experimental theater. I got a master's degree in intellectual history, don't ask. I raced mountain bikes. And although I did come back to science, every single one of those experiences profoundly impacted me. So I encourage you to be brave, to be curious, and push past any limits that you think you might have. Okay, enough with the big abstract advice with a capital A. I want to end with some very practical tips that will help you succeed in your first semester and beyond. Number one, read the syllabus. Every course has a syllabus, and every important piece of information about that class is in the syllabus. Don't ask random people if you have questions. Go to the source. Start with the syllabus. If you still have questions, ask your TA or your instructor. Really, that's our job. Number two, read your email. Your RPI email, to be precise. This is mostly how you're going to get important information, and you will miss things if you never read it. Number three, go to office hours. You're not bothering us, really. We have them so that you can ask us questions. Pro tip, when you need a letter of recommendation in the future, and you will, it really helps if we've had some interaction with you outside of class. And number four, and most importantly, if you need help of any type, academic help, non-academic help, health, mental health, anything, ask. Most of us are pretty uncomfortable asking for help, and I'm sure you're no different. But there's this whole infrastructure of help, of people here to help you on every topic. So take advantage of it, use it. Okay, that's it for the big advice. I'm really excited for you to join this, to begin this adventure, and I'm confident that your experiences here at RPI will prepare you for a brilliant future. So good luck and enjoy it.
Thank you, Lee. It's now my pleasure to introduce our alumni speaker, Laurel Castle, a proud member of the RPI class of 2018. Laurel earned both a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science and a Master of Science in Technology, Commercialization, and Entrepreneurship from RPI. As a student, Laurel made the most of her RPI experience. She was captain of the varsity women's lacrosse team, was named a regional All-American during her senior year. She was also an active campus leader, serving with the Red and White Student Alumni Organization and Sigma Gamma Epsilon, the National Honor Society for Earth Sciences. After graduating from RPI, Laurel began her career with Cigna's Operations Leadership Development Program, gaining experience in service operations, continuous improvement, and corporate strategy. In 2024, she joined New Balance in Boston, where she now serves as Associate Manager of Consumer Insight and Analytics, supporting the company's North American footwear and apparel business. What's especially meaningful about having Laurel with us today is that her connection to RPI didn't end when she graduated. She continues to give back to the community that helped shape her. Laurel serves on the Rensselaer Alumni Association Board of Trustees as president of the Young Alumni Council, vice president of the RAA Boston chapter, and as a member of the RPI Lacrosse Leadership Council. She also gives back to her local community in Massachusetts by coaching youth lacrosse and serving as an election worker. Laurel is a wonderful example of the many ways in RPI education and the relationships you build here can continue to shape your life long after you leave campus. Please join me in welcoming back to RPI, Laurel Castle.
Well, thank you all for inviting me to speak today. Before anything else, there's one thing that I want to make sure every student in this room hears. You belong here. Not just because of your GPA, an SAT score, or any of the insanely impressive extracurriculars that you put on your applications. And seriously, I heard earlier, you guys are impressive, but because of something more. RPI is a community of particularly unique individuals. All smart, yes, but also curious, creative, and caring. You're embarking on a journey that so many impressive and driven people have been on before, and I'm so excited to see you all begin. As my introduction said, and my God, I'm tired just listening to that, I'm Laurel Castle, a graduate of the class of 2018 and the current Young Alumni Council president with the Rensselaer Alumni Association. I'm also a huge history nerd. So as I sat down to think about what wisdom I would share with all of you, I found myself looking back to alumni that have come before me and the inspiration I've drawn from their stories. Now, I promise this won't just be cheesy one-liners, although I do have to admit the first thing I thought of was shoot for the stars like Reed Wiseman, which I thought was pretty good. Only got a couple of laughs, that's fine, we'll keep going. Instead, I took not only my learnings when I was a student, but looked back on over 200 years of history and all the brilliant people who have come before to learn from this little school on the hill in Troy, New York. First thing, and you've heard it before, try anything and everything that interests you while you're here. Sign up for the club or activity you didn't have time for in high school. Go to that event on the flyer you walked by on the way to class. Stop and talk to whoever's tabling in the union when you're studying. College is the time to try new things and find your passion and people. Now, I can't guarantee this next part, but I will say I did meet my now husband because I accepted an invite to an event my first week of school, so just saying, you never know. But there's seriously no place like RPI when it comes to finding your people. Second, branch out when it comes to academics. Don't take that one class because it's an easy A, because A, those do not exist at RPI, sorry to break it to you, and B, that's not going to ignite your passion. Our co-founder, Amos Eaton, the one who the school is obviously not named after, set up the Rensselaer School with a radical new way of teaching. Hands-on learning, seriously. He'd bring students out in the field to observe natural phenomena or industrial processes, and then they would come back to the lab to study the science and engineering behind what they witnessed. And we do that to this day. At a time when higher education largely relied on sitting and listening to a lecture, it was seriously groundbreaking. RPI is never an easy school, but it is a groundbreaking school, and that's pretty awesome. But some of the best opportunities for learning also come from outside the classroom. So take those opportunities to look at the hard problems and try to answer life's big questions. So go all in. You may invent the next digital camera, Steve Sasson. You might design the next iconic Fifth Avenue Apple store, or you might be one of the 8 people to start the next Silicon Valley. Seriously, if you haven't heard of the Traitorous 8, go look them up. They're really cool. Third, learn how to pivot. You may fail while you're here. I do not want to talk about Physics 1. My first test was a disaster. I cried. It was so bad. It will happen. I promise you will get over it. I promise the successes will outweigh those tough moments. This is the time to open your mind to other ideas, to other career paths, and to other areas of interest. Look at me. I was an environmental science major, and to this day, I have a very extensive rock collection. My husband did get me a rock tumbler for Christmas. That's how deep we are. But now I'm working in consumer analytics for footwear marketing, and I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't have gotten there if I didn't take the path that I did. You never know where your career and passions will take you, and I only learned what really sparked my interest by expanding beyond my classes to working in a lab, taking on a leadership position in clubs and with a lacrosse team, and enrolling in classes outside of my core coursework. RPI will give you the opportunity to learn and do so many amazing things. Each of your paths will be different, and I'm so excited to see you all find a home here. And please don't forget to call your mom. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurel. We now turn to another important RPI tradition, the presentation of the class banner. Joining us are two of RPI student leaders, the Grand Marshal, who holds the highest elected office at RPI and is easily recognized by the traditional top hat that accompanies the position, and the President of the Union. Together, they will present the Class of 2030 banner. This banner will become a symbol of your class and shared journey at RPI. Over the course of your time here, you'll have an opportunity to add your personal touches to it, making the banner uniquely yours. It will grow and change along with your class, ultimately becoming a lasting reminder of your time together at RPI. Please join me in welcoming the 160th Grand Marshal, Jordan Krishnaya, and the 137th President of the Union, Kate Goldstein, for the presentation of the Class of 2030 banner.
Hello. First and foremost, I would like to warmly welcome the Class of 2030 to RPI. Congrats on making it here. I'm glad to have you guys here. As for the top hat, I'll get to that later, but I'm Jordan, the 160th Grand Marshal, and that's Kate, the President of the Union. We're both currently students, unlike the unks back there. But the two of us were elected by the entire student body to head the Rensselaer Union. Kate runs the executive board, which budgets like $4 million every year. It's like absolutely insane. And I oversee the student senate, which writes laws for the union and advocates on behalf of all students. Back to the hat. The first Grand Marshal was elected in 1865 to unify the student body, and he was handed a ceremonial top hat, and students have been passing it down ever since as a really cool tradition. But it's not the same hat, but they buy us one every year. Part of why I even ran for this position in the first place is because our school had a lot of traditions like that just got lost over time. So in May, we decided, let's just make a new tradition up. We told everyone to meet outside DCC on the last night of classes, and when the clock hits midnight, when it becomes finals week, to scream as loud as possible. So that entire corridor was filled with students just screaming their lungs out, and it hit like 115 decibels. And it was like really cool. We basically made a new tradition. Your time will come in the fall, I guess, so I hope to see all of you there. Yeah, that's the thing I learned in college. There is no adult in the back of the room holding a permission slip with your name on it. In 1824, the school was founded on that exact idea, that students should stop watching demonstrations and just start running the experiments themselves. The biggest experiment, though, was something completely away from the lab. In 1908, a bunch of organizations merged together to form something called the Rensselaer Union, and this had the goal of bettering student life in all regards, from athletics to school spirit events to even student-led clubs. But at first, they struggled to raise money. They didn't know how to get funds. The students asked the school to kind of put a tax on all the students in the tuition so that money can go to clubs specifically, but the schools kept saying no. They said no over and over again. So the union, what did they do? Did they go penniless? Did they give up? No, they instead took out a life insurance policy and a professor for $20,000 and had each student pitch in a little bit for the premium. That's an actual thing that they did as a workaround to fund their own clubs. That experiment is still running to this day. Students just like you and me legislate over our own building. We budget $4 million for over 200 clubs and organizations, and very few student bodies in this country get that privilege. Yet, we have a lot of unsolved questions for the union and for RPI as a whole. Although we're no longer relying on life insurance policies to get by, we still have fundraising issues. We need new ways to make money, and we need new clubs, and we need new traditions. As for the real world, we're also going to face some issues. You're probably going to hear a little too much about AI this year, probably from adults much older than you. Treat it like any other experiment. Question its application and scrutinize its impact. And after all, this school is founded on the idea of applying science to the common purposes of life for ordinary people. Ask yourself what innovations genuinely benefit humanity. It's a well-rounded engineer that makes that distinction, not a computer. So take your Haas classes seriously, too. Whatever it is, my only ask of you is that you carry the founding spirit of this institute, to learn, to experiment, and to break things. Be whimsical and think out of the box, and maybe you'll help solve some of the most pressing issues facing the union, the school, or the world at large. Also, one last thing before I go, you should check out the sunset at Impact Hill afterwards. It's really beautiful. You won't want to miss it. But yeah, welcome home, class of 2030.
Thank you, Jordan. Over the past week, you've begun the process of making RPI your home. You've met new people, explored campus, tried new things, served the Troy community, and taken part in experiences that have introduced you not only to RPI, but to one another. There's been a lot packed into these first few days. We understand that, from sports and service projects to laser cutting, painting, rocket launches, a cappella, and so much more. But what matters most isn't any one activity, it's the connections you've begun to make along the way. Some of the people you met this week may become your closest friends. Others may become classmates or teammates, collaborators, or simply faces you'll be happy to see as you cross campus. Together, these experiences are the beginning of the community you will build during your time here at RPI. We've captured some of those moments from your first week together. As you watch, I hope you'll recognize a few familiar faces, remember some of the fun you've already had, and think about everything that still lies ahead. Let's take a look at your first week as members of the RPI community.
I love this tree.
I brought my pillows.
Brought my fishing gear, I can't leave without it.
Periwinkle.
Made this wonderful bed. They're calling me the most comfortable man in RPI. All my snacks back there. I bought a bunch of snacks.
I'm trying to learn blindfold solving.
My own custom PC.
I brought my cake vinyl.
Come here, Mom. Good. Let's go. Welcome to
Belonging, connection, community. Every student matters. Welcome to RPI.
What a great week. You clearly had a lot of fun. And thanks for the folks who pulled the video together for us. RPI is a community rich with traditions, and one of our most meaningful is the singing of our alma mater. Today, members of several of RPI's vocal groups have come together to lead us in this tradition. They will begin by singing the alma mater, and then we invite all of you to join them as we sing together. Please stand if you're able and join us in celebrating this cherished RPI tradition. Great job. It's with great pleasure that we welcome Father Jordan Lenahan, the Institute chaplain, to lead us in a moment of benediction. Please join me in giving him your full attention as he imparts his words of blessing upon us.
I had a nice prayer, but I'm not going to use it. It was nice. But here's the thing. Listening to my colleagues speak, you know, you've entrusted us with one of the greatest gifts you have this next 4 years, in which you'll be shaped and you'll grow and you'll develop. And I was thinking as I looked out at all of you and I heard them all speak about what a blessing, what an honor, what a privilege it is that you decided to sort of invest your lives with us, and we're going to invest in you. And I listened to all the advice you were given, and so now I'm going to give you some of my own in terms of the benediction. Here it is. I'm not going to use any of the nice things I wrote, but here's my prayer. During the next 4 years, make a mess. let me tell you what I mean. The only way you're going to grow, the only way you're going to become the person that you want to be, you desire to be, that you can be, is to make a mess. Don't be afraid of it. Raise your voice, push back, slide down hills, roll in mud, lose your shoes. By the way, those have all happened in the last 3 years. I've had kids come in. Get a tattoo. Only with your parents' permission and from a recognized hygienic establishment. But make a mess. You know, in the course of human history, the greatest evolutions in human civilization and in the history of science were made when people decided they were going to color outside the lines and they were going to make a mess. If you're going to change the world, make a mess. And start here. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's all right if you make a mess. It's all right if you spill things, not in the laboratory though, we don't want to go there. But make a mess. You are going to embark on what educational theorists and behavioral specialists tell us is going to be the most formative and transformative 4 years of most people's lives. And the only way that you do it is if you push yourself, if you challenge yourself, if you're willing to sort of step out of what you think is comfortable. And the only way you're going to do that, let me assure you, is if you make a mess. Amen.
Before we go outside to celebrate your introduction to the RPI community, we ask that you please remain in place until the stage party has left the area. We wish you immense success as you embark on your academic journey and are excited to see you thrive. Welcome to the RPI family.